the very first meeting of your party governors after the merger, and Governor Makura hosted that particular meeting. And it was interesting to know that your governors actually came together to say they oppose autonomy for local government.
That is not correct. Absolutely false. And we did correct it the next day. Our governors said they support autonomy. But under our constitution, which is a federal constitution, there are only two federating units, the states and the federal. Two, that under our constitution, only states are empowered to make laws for local government, whether it's creation or administration. Therefore, if autonomy is to be sought, it cannot be sought from the National Assembly, which did not create the local government. That only the states that created local government can give local governments autonomy. And we went further to say, of course we do support autonomy. The first criteria of autonomy is when you allow free, fair, and credible elections to take place in the local government. Whoever is going to be at the local government level must be freely elected by the people. But that is an anomaly in our constitution to say that it's the National Assembly that can give autonomy in whatever form to the local government. This is all we said. We said the autonomy can only be given through the state House of Assembly that created them. And we give an analogy that if, for instance, I don't want my daughter to go out at 8 p.m., if she wants me to relax that rule, she will not go to my next door neighbor. My next door neighbor can only come and appeal to me.
But Alhaji Mohammed, these are some of the state governors that have been accused of siphonning some of the funds of the local government. And you're asking them to have more powers on local government.
Look, we have a set of assembly. And I think as of today, under our constitution, the legislature is different from the executive arm of government. It is the legislature. They are not asking for something from the state governor. They are asking for it from the House of Assembly that created it. This is very simple constitutional matter. Two, on the issue of petroleum, subsidy or what? Look, it is on record that this government frittered 3 trillion naira in phantom payment to subsidies. And these people are still walking the streets free today. And for you to understand what 3 trillion means, I'll give you an example. Lagos State today needs 250 billion naira to complete its 4th mainland bridge. With 3 trillion, they will do 12 of such bridges in Nigeria. Every day we are speaking, 400,000 barrels of crude oil is being stolen under the watch of this very government, and they say they have no answer to it. For 14 years, the PDP governor cannot bring into life one single refinery in Nigeria. And yet, they are talking about, how well they've managed the economy. Now, we will not talk without figures. We would not just make criticism. And every time we do so, we also do give alternatives to government, which they never listen to. Now, he's talked about the stability. The PDP had been 14 years in power. For crying out loud, it is no longer fashionable for anybody to have a coup anywhere in the world, as because what is happening everywhere. So it's the fact that 14 years of stability has nothing to do with the expertise or the leadership quality of the PDP. Times have simply changed. That if anybody does a coup now, the whole world would say no to it.
All right, I'd like you to hold that thought. We go for a break, and when we come back, it's going to be issues on the legality of the opposition talking or making comments or criticizing in a democracy, plus also the issue of the 2050 presidency. A lot of people have accused the ruling party of being jittery of the APC, the newly merged party. Is it true? Is it not true? We'll find out right after this break. Join us then. Thank you for staying with us here on Politics Today on Channels Television. Now, we have been talking about opposition criticisms and the ruling party performance in Nigeria's politics. Well, the presidency came out with this particular stand on Chief Bisi Akande's comments. The APC has said, look, they are making this criticism based on the development that they want to happen in Nigeria. But there is another dimension to this whole issue, as I have Alhaji Lai Mohammed, the publicity secretary of the APC, and also the representative from the presidency, Dr. Kach Ononuju. But this dimension is the fact that Chief Bisi Akande might be taken to court on the comment that is attributed to him. And this is what he said. He said, we urge Chief Akande and its fellow travelers to remember that there are laws against libel and defamation of character in this country, even if there are no legal impediments to industrious, hypocritical, and unpatriotic vituperations. Those are the comments from Dr. Abati. There might be some law court issues on this particular issue. That is what it seems to be. I have on the line joining us a legal practitioner of note, Professor Saga, who has been following issues here in the country and also comments on public issues here. Prof, can you tell us, in this particular situation that we are in, the opposition criticizing the president, but the use of language is what the president say they're not happy with. But the opposition says that the presidency is not listening to them. What's your take on this, and how far do you think the presidency can go against Chief Bisi Akande?
I think the first thing that is very obvious is that Nigerian politicians lack a sense of humor. A lot of hula balloons being made out of nothing. The little dig by Chief Akande should have resulted in a response which should have been humorous and been in line with a certain level of enlightenment that we expect in a democracy. The reaction of Ruben Abati was extreme and shows that we have a government that is uptight, to use an American language, meaning they take themselves too seriously, they have no sense of humor, and generally they are totally enlightened or unenlightened. The criticism was a very mild criticism compared to other countries, and there's no circumstance under which a matter like this will be taken to court and any legal action can be sustained.
Okay, so there is a tendency, sir, if the president